It's the season for sorrel, a sweet drink sorrel. It's the season for sorrel, a sweet drink sorrel. Your favorite flavored soft drink now comes in a limited edition sorrel flavor. Enjoy a cool sorrel sweet drink this Christmas. Available in 591 ml packet sizes. Sweet drink, we drink. It's the season for sorrel, a sweet drink sorrel.
Proudly produced in Grenada by the Grenada Bottling Company
Partner
Limited.
is the laundry detergent that gets the job done. This multi-purpose brand is designed with you in mind, catering to all your needs. The soap bar and liquid detergent was created and added to S. Kumar's line of products. This addition guarantees to be mild on the skin, allowing the bar soap to be used as a beauty bar and ideal for hand washing. The liquid soap with added softener leaves your clothes with a bright clean while removing all odor, dirt, and grease. The liquid soap is ideal for your appliances, ensuring great performance. For luxurious laundry detergent, choose a partner.
We plan for every major life event, from birthday parties to baptisms, and celebrating a life well lived deserves the same thoughtful planning. Beacon's Rest Easy plan is designed to give your loved ones the comfort of knowing that they can do just that. With no underwriting and cover for up to 6 family members that includes certain injuries, this plan can be yours for as little as 75 cents per day. Call us at Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Good morning, everyone. My apologies for the late start. Yes, Andrea, I saw your message, just could not respond. Was organizing my stuff in studio, and it is no fault of mine or Power 95. Was just trying to sort out the guests, but nonetheless, we are back. Good morning, everyone. Like y'all are waiting. Oh my goodness, I know we're like 14 minutes late, so we're gonna really have to get through a lot of stuff because it's a pretty interesting conversation, of course, that we're about to embark on. So again, my apologies for the late start. Everyone coming in the room, share, and of course, you know, on Sunday we had the press conference, and one of the questions coming out of it was youth, and you know the things in place for youth development, and of course GIDC falling under that umbrella with a lot of initiatives for youth. We decided to have the program this morning because I'm not gonna lie, lots of you have been talking about not knowing what's happening, not knowing where to go, not knowing who to contact, or what information or help is out there for young entrepreneurs, or you know, folks with brilliant ideas and you know, wanting a start, not too sure where to turn to. So we that's the conversation we will be having this morning, and I have 2 of my guests in studio to share some of that with you. So like I said, it's gonna sound rushed, bear with me. You know, I don't normally operate like this, but it's important that we have this conversation this morning. Alrighty, so bear with me, and certainly we'll need a couple more minutes over to, you know, disseminate all of this. Anywho's, everybody's here. Good morning, Oswald. Have not seen you on these parts. Good to have you here. Thanks so much. Alrighty, so let me add my guests to the stream, and we'll take it from there. Fantastic. There we go. Ladies, good morning. How are we today?
Good morning. We're doing fine. Thank you so much for accommodating us today.
I'm gonna need a little bit more volume on your end. I'm not sure if you have to come closer to the mic.
Better?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And just project your voice a little bit more. Shevlin.
Good morning.
That's your name, right? I pronounced it properly. Shivlin. Okay, so Shivlin, I'll need you to come a little closer to the mic, right? Good. Yeah, and of course, you know where your camera is to project. All right, so we have Janelle Lewis and Chevlyn Noel from the GIDC in the studio with us this morning. So I'm not sure who's going to go first, but anybody
I'll
can tell us a little bit about
right.
the GIDC and what it is you do.
Right. So the GIDC is an economic development corporation. We've been in existence for the last, we're a statutory body, mind you, and we've been in existence for the last 37 years. So there are 3 strategic business units within the GIDC. So we have the IPA, where I am the promotion and marketing specialist. That's the investment promotion agency. Then we have facilities. So for those of you who don't know, we're located at the Frequency Industrial Park, and all the spaces within the park belongs to GIDC. So we actually provide rental space through the facilities department. And then we have the Business Development Center, and that department is geared towards assisting small businesses in terms of registering your business, assisting you in writing business plans. They also provide training, which Miss Noel would go into a bit further. So that's just a brief description of GIDC in terms of what we do. And for today, we'll talk about the incentives or anything available to small businesses, entrepreneurs, and so on.
All righty. Okay, so we'll stick with you for a little bit longer, and then of course we'll bring in Chevlyn to speak on some of the programs. All right.
Sure.
So, like I said, that was one of the things coming out of the press conference, and of course the Prime Minister highlighted that there are initiatives for young people, and as a matter of fact, not enough young people are taking advantage of these initiatives and opportunities. And my thing was, you can't take part in something you don't know about. So I'm happy to have you guys here. So of course, we have a youthful listenership. So I hope that at the end of this, young people will know where to go with some of the amazing ideas that they have to get some sort of help, some sort of direction. So in terms of the initiative and the investments that are available and the support services, speak to us on that's available for young people.
Right. So firstly, I'll start with briefly in terms of the priority sectors for investment, and then I'll go into the stimulus program. So right now, the government, it's been a couple of years now, there are 5 priority sectors for investment, which means that if you operate a business or you're thinking about operating a business within these sectors, there are economic incentives available. So that will be tourism, it'll be manufacturing or agribusiness, ICT, energy development, and health and wellness, right? So those are the sectors. So once GIDC is responsible for the administration of these incentives. So once you operate within that sector, let's take, for example, agribusiness. There's somebody making soaps, using cocoa to make cocoa butter, etc. You are able to get incentives on the equipment that you might need for your business to operate. Your building materials, let's say, for example, you have a piece of land available and you want to put up a structure. You are able to get 50% concessions on the charges that it would cost you to bring in your building materials to set up that place. Obviously, there are qualifying criteria such as if it's a wooden structure, or depending on where it is, you might need physical planning approval. So these are the qualifying criteria. The building cannot be attached to another structure, etc. You need to own the land, etc. So these things are available. So these were for the priority sectors, and it has been in existence for a very long time. And once you operate businesses within these sectors, you can call GIDC, will assist you in terms of the assessment, etc. But now, given the COVID-19 pandemic, the government would have realized that there are small businesses, let's say your barbers, your hairdressers, that do not fall into these sectors. And they have been affected by the pandemic. And what is it that can be done to assist these small businesses? So as part of the stimulus program for the micro, small, and medium enterprises, they are able to get equipment that the priority sectors were getting before. So they're able to get their equipment and building materials. They're able to get 50% off the duties that they'll be charged on the port, etc. And by customs, they're able to get 50% off these things. So your hairdresser, or let's say, for example, somebody was doing braiding on the side and they've lost their job and they're doing it full time. They have a little place, but they're missing a sink. They need additional those hair curlers and things like that.
Mhm.
You're able to apply and get concessions on these things that you need to bring in if you want to bring it in for the purpose of your business.
What's the concessionary rate?
50%.
50%.
Right?
Okay.
And let's say same the hairdressers or the barbers or just anybody, you're baking. A lot of people started baking, a lot of people started cooking meals, etc. You establish your little restaurant wherever it is that you're putting it. The equipment that you're bringing in, your conventional oven, your stove top, all these equipment that you need for use in the business, you are able to apply. And those these applications for the businesses that are not in the priority sector, this is administered by the Ministry of Finance. So you'll have to contact the Ministry of Finance to let them know that this is my business, this is what I want to do, how can I get help? There are a few eligibility requirements. The first thing is your business needs to be registered. So I know sometimes we do things a bit informal, but in terms of incentives, we try to deal with Shivlin Noel or Aruna Neptune. Not the person, but the business. So Aruna's cakes, Shivlin's hair, however it is, we try to deal with businesses. So your business needs to be registered. If you need assistance, you can always contact GIDC. We do the business registration services for individuals. You also need to be registered with the Inland Revenue and NIS. And the process is not tedious at all to go with NIS. It's not tedious. It's very simple. And with Inland Revenue.
Someone have a question in terms of what has the response been there, and how have you been advertising the program?
Right. So GIDC, you can follow us on Facebook, Grenada Investment Development Corporation. But we've had 2 programs so far. So we had one of the programs called the Business Investment Chat, where we spoke about the same things that we're talking about today. And we received a lot of interest. A lot, because there were people like, oh, I didn't know this. And so we received a lot of it.
Consensus.
Right.
I don't know.
So we received a lot of interest. Even if the individuals were not part of the priority sector, we gave them the basic information and gave them the guidance. So, somebody would call and they're not registered as yet. So you tell them, you can come in, you can speak to somebody in the Business Development Center and they can assist you with registering your business. So that's the first step. And it's been a good uptake. And for the people within the priority sectors who didn't even know that this program existed for them. So the non-priority sectors, that is new. But the priority sectors, this has been established a long time ago. And if you're operating within these businesses, a lot of people are making natural stuff. A lot of people are using our local produce to create products. And that will be under the agribusiness sector. And that is a priority sector for investment. And you are able to get incentives under this sector.
The PM mentioned as well that one of the complaints they've heard that they heard before was that the criteria was too strict, that people couldn't meet, the necessary criteria to get approval. He mentioned that they've been, some in terms of it being, before some lessening of, some of the criterias. What are areas that is specifically? What are some of the areas that you've made changes to the criteria? So, the ordinary Joe who has this brilliant idea, who's making breadfruit sticks, can come in and get support and wouldn't have to walk with land paper, house deed, and none of those things to get approval. How does that work?
So generally, in terms of financing, so we provide the support, but in terms of financing, that is GDB. And for the program that we did, Miss Benjamin Jerome would have highlighted a lot of the financing options and also highlighted how much easier it is based on, so it's sort of like an assessment of your situation, and then they'll go based on that. However, for businesses that are registered, let's say, for example, somebody registered their business, registered with Inland Revenue and NIS, and they haven't been paying, whatever it is that the fees or the taxes are. Right now, with this stimulus program, your fees and the interest and the penalties that are attached to the fees that you were due, that's waived. So all you pay is basically what you owe. So any late charges, any penalties, any interest that were attached to the amount that you owe, that has been waived by the Ministry of Finance. They just set up a payment arrangement with you and you do that. So people don't need to be scared, for lack of a better word, to go in by saying, oh my God, how long I owe all these taxes and so on. I don't want to take advantage of that because now are going to be on the radar. This has been waived because we want people to take advantage of it. We want people to come register a business. If it's one thing that the pandemic has taught us, that sometimes not everything is certain. You might be doing something on the side and you had your main job and now you lost your job. You're able to now develop what you
The
had.
side job becomes the main job.
So it now becomes your livelihood. So you might be baking cakes. You have 2 pans. Now you're able to, okay, I have the money. Or even if you don't, you can go and try to get a loan. There are attractive interest rates, like 1% interest, various grace periods and so on. So now you get a loan. I can now buy 10 pans. I can now buy a big mixer and now I can produce more and get more money because now my main source of income that I had before, I no longer have it. So that is all what the program is about. It's about getting your business up and running. Even if the business, you don't have it as yet, it applies to new businesses. If you have it and it's not that much, it applies for your expansion.
Okay. I'll get back to you because I'm seeing a couple questions, but let me just bring in Shivlin Noel into the conversation. So, Shivlin, morning again. Speak to us on the program, this training program, and of course, what it involves. You're a bit low. You're very far from your mic. Come closer to the mic.
Is it better?
Bring it up to you.
Oh, okay. Is it better?
Still a bit low. Bring it up some more. All right, let's try now.
Good morning.
Janelle was fantastic. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
With me?
Yeah.
Put your face in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah, tell us now.
Okay, so under the Business Development Center, which Janelle would have spoken about, there are a lot of services that have been offered. For example, she mentioned the business plan, the training under the Business Development Center. You can, if you have a grant that you want to apply for and you do not know how to prepare the documentation for that, the Business Development Center, the staff there offers that service as well. But GIDC entered into an agreement with the Government of Grenada through the Ministry of Finance to provide entrepreneurial training and grant financing to young people through the SIRE program, the Climate Smart Agriculture and Rural Enterprise Program. I hope some of you would have heard of it. And we mainly offer entrepreneurial training to unemployed and underemployed young people from the ages 16 to 35. We also have a program for adult business owners, mainly training and guiding, technical assistance to guide them as to how to probably tweak your business based on what is happening now in the current environment. So we do not offer, unfortunately, we do not offer grant financing or funding for the existing business owners, but for the young people, we actually do provide the grant financing. So the trainees, they get to register and they come in and they go through. Once they have been approved to participate in the program, we offer 31 days of entrepreneurial training. That training involves remedial education, math, English, basic math, English, ICT. We have a counselor on board in that training, and we provide entrepreneurial skills development, grant proposal writing, and record keeping. So we want to ensure that the young people who are participating in the training have the necessary skills in order for them to implement their business idea. Now, the young people can either have a new idea that you want to test, or you have been operating for less than 3 years informally without being registered or doing something on the side, and you actually want to improve on that business. And as was said before, you want to make that side job a main job. You can actually apply for the program, apply to participate in the program as well.
Somebody is saying, so what if I'm not under 35? I want to start a business. No training available for me?
If you're under 35?
If they're not under 35.
No, there are no, well, we have a training. If you're over 35 years, we have a training, but you would fall in a different bracket.
Okay.
Yes. So the young people, we're actually trying to give them a start and to train them to learn to test and to look at the environment and see if it makes sense getting into the business or continuing the business that you already have. So after they would have completed the 31 days of training, they have an opportunity to access the grant financing. So part of the training, the grant proposal training, we actually show them or go through the grant proposal application with them. That is basically the training. So they know, well, this is what I have to do, how I have to prepare the application. So when the time comes and the call is out, then they apply. Only people who are trained, though, could access the grant. No one outside of the training. So if you have not been trained, you cannot apply for grant financing from under that program. And the grant financing are in two phases. We have the first push phase. It's a small grant. It's about $1,000 US, and we provide 95% of that, and the beneficiary has to contribute 5%. After you have 6 months, after you sign your contract and after you receive approval, you sign your contract and you get your check, you have 6 months to implement. And we look at the business as a whole. If you're starting, if it's new, you go out, you test, you create your products, or you create your brochures, you start offering your service, and you get to determine whether or not the environment really needs your service at the moment. So you get to test and see the success of it. And you have 6 months. After 6 months, we assess your business, and we determine, okay, we have a group of people who are ready to access the business grant. And the business grant is a larger grant. So for an individual, you can access up to 90% of $25,000. And at the business grant level, you get to prepare a business plan. So under the training, that is why it's so important to be trained first. Under the entrepreneur skills development training, you learn to develop a business plan there. So when it comes to the business grant now, you just simply tweak your business idea and you get advice on how to make it a bit more, workable, not make it polished for you to look good on paper and you can't implement, to actually make it workable for you to implement, and you get access to the larger grant. So we have individual categories and we have groups. Groups under the first push could also access grant, and it's a little bit more. It's about 6,000 EC, and you get the 95% of that. And for the business grant, you can access up to $75,000, $80,000, according to how it goes and what it is that you need under the business grant. So we're operating at 2 levels. So at the moment, we are actually implementing the first push grant, and we are assessing persons who would have already gone through and are implementing to see where they are for us to start issuing the call for proposal for the business grant.
And how does one access that though? How do you how do you sign up? How do you become part of it? What do you have to do?
Firstly, you would have to call GIDC 444-1035. We would send you the registration form. You register. We assess a business. We have business development officers attached to the program. We have some actual project staff. So myself as the coordinator, we have 3 business development officers at the moment, and a business development officer will work with you, go through the form. We will inform you if you have been approved, because there are certain criteria you have to meet. So for example, one person in the household have not received secondary school education. You have more than 3 people in your household. That's also another criteria. There are 4 criteria on the list that you have to meet. So once you meet it, and most people who have gone through the training have met the criteria, then we enroll you into a batch. Yes.
Alrighty, that's a lot of information,
Yes.
and of course, like you said, it's out there, but it's just that most folks don't know about it, and sometimes folks like to be given and not necessarily. Well, at least you have a better idea now where you can go to source the information, and of course, some of the training available. Someone says, I'm really interested in what is available for the over 30 information. Older ones need help too.
Okay, so
Yes.
basically what we're offering is a technical assistance program. So what we would do, so if someone applies to access the training, the technical assistance that we are offering. So firstly, what we would do, you would register. After you register, we have to complete a diagnostic. We want to know what is happening in your business, because we want to understand where your business is at, because we cannot provide a recommendation to you if we don't understand what is happening with you. So we do a diagnostic together with you. And after that, we actually sit down and look and determine whether you need training, whether you need financing, whether you need employees, whatever it is you need to get your business to operate more effectively, more efficiently. If you need financing, of course we will, because we do not have a financing component under the program for adult business owners. We will link you to GDB, who could assist you in that way. But for the training, we offer the training, we offer technical advice, we offer that hand-holding support to you to get you to where you want to be. If you want to transition your business from operating in a store to online, then of course all that will come out from the diagnostic, and then we will implement a plan, and we will work with you to get that plan completed so that you would be able to operate more effectively and efficiently. That is what we're offering.
So in terms of the training, is it in person or is it done virtually? How is it done?
Well, we would actually assess to determine whether we should do it. Well, mainly right now, virtual is the goal. But if things, as much as things ease up, we do have the Simone Industrial Park. We actually have a building that has been refurbished, and we have 2 training rooms. We also have GIDC, which has training rooms there. And of course, with protocols in place, we could implement a face-to-face training. But for now, we will focus on the virtual training, which is with the participants. But of course, once we can open up and have that face-to-face, we will.
Alrighty, so we are almost out of time, but in terms of the stimulus program that was recently introduced, and it includes assistance to young people, can you just reiterate a bit more on how that works and how young people can, take advantage of it?
Right. So there are various parts of it. For the main one, I know a lot of people in terms of their business are thinking about financing. GIDC doesn't necessarily offer financing. Shivlin would have spoken about the grant financing under certain training programs. But what I do know, and we did have Ms. Benjamin Jerome from the GDB on our program on Facebook, so people can go back and look at it. There are a lot of financing options available under the stimulus program for individuals. So you're able to get certain loans up until a certain amount for as low as 1% interest, with various grace periods, sometimes a year, 2 years, 3 years. But GDB would be better to further tell you exactly what it is once you do an application, or if it is that you need general information, they'll be able to explain that further.
Yeah, because I think that's what most people are interested in.
Yeah,
the financing part of the business. So,
right. So
GDB will be the next
right. So even if once it is that you get financing, obviously not because you get the money, there are ways to better spend your money. So you get the financing, and even if you can afford to bring in, let's say for the person that cooks, even if you can afford to bring in the stove and pay all the duties, you don't have to. You can apply to get the concessions off the duties for the stove that you're bringing in. And then the money that you save, the 50% concession, the money that you save on the duties, you can repurpose it somewhere else into your business. So it sort of goes hand in hand. You access financing from GDB, but you're also able to get the concessions. If you're in the priority sector, you get the concessions through GIDC. And if you're in a non-priority sector, that's any other business, any small business that operates outside of agriculture, tourism, ICT, health and wellness, and energy. So as I said, your barber, your baker, your cook, your hairdresser, anything else outside of these sectors, you're able to apply to the Ministry of Finance under the stimulus program and be able to access the incentives for your equipment, access the incentives for your building materials, and you're able to bring in a vehicle. I don't know how I forgot the vehicle part, right? Before, with the priority sectors, there was a stipulation on the vehicles. It needed to be a pickup, a panel van, or a truck thereabouts. Now there is no classification on your vehicle, because if I'm selling little cakes, imagine me with a big pickup with the cake in the back of the pickup, right? So, right. So now you're able to come, you're able to get the concessions 50% of the for bringing in the vehicle for use in your business. It has to be for use in the business. So can't bring in a Ferrari or some sports car, something like that, that obviously is not practical to your business. So for use in your business, you're able to go ahead and do that. There are stipulations. Your vehicle needs to be 5 years or newer, because we know there's the law about 10 years or newer. So for the concessions, it needs to be 5 years or newer. And your business logo must be affixed to the vehicle. So Aruna's Cakes would need to be branded on the side of that vehicle once you are able to obtain the concessions to bring in your vehicle.
Alrighty. Well, we are so out of time because of the late start, but I would really love to do a follow-up so we can start on time and have more time to entertain questions from the audience, because I'm seeing quite a number of them. And maybe what we can do next time is highlight some of the successful businesses, because I'm seeing a lot of questions regarding, successful business who have gone through the program as examples.
Right.
And I'm also seeing maybe a recommendation for a training program for over 35s for new startup businesses, because at the end of the day, it's still a business, and you still require training. If you're starting something new, you want to start something, and then next month, it goes, So I would really like to have the conversation on that over 35, because a lot of the programs seem to be get towards 16 to 35, but they are over 35. So I'm saying, we are interested in training and starting our own businesses. What about us? Why aren't we involved in the process? So I would love to have a next program where we can do we could pay more attention to the success stories, and as well as incentives for over 35s wanting to start new businesses, and not necessarily those who already have a business, but new businesses. So we can organize day and time, and
yes,
yeah, and on time.
And we'll be on time.
So we can have some of the question, and of course I'll probably be able to promote it more. So those of you with questions in the audience, you can also call and ask some of the questions you may have or concerns you may have regarding the program, all right, and the training programs and whatever else.
Check us out on Facebook, Grenada Investment Development Corporation. We have 2 videos that we did already speaking about the priority sectors and the stimulus program, and GDB was also on one of the programs. So in terms of financing, they can get the information there. Call us 444-1035. We'll be more than happy to assist with any questions that you have, any guidance that you need to direct you in the appropriate direction.
Fantastic. Ladies, again, thank you so very much. And I'm looking forward to having you back. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I just wanted to encourage young people. We have 2 more batches. We're actually closing down the training aspect of the program. So 2 more batches for 2020. So I want to encourage 2022, sorry. So we want to encourage young people to apply to really benefit from the training and the grant financing that we have. And you can contact us at 444-1035 and we will assist you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again, ladies. Truly appreciate you taking the time out this morning to check in with us in the ladies' room. And like I said, we definitely have to do a follow-up so we can get more questions, some of the questions posed in the comment section answered, and those of you who probably have questions, you can call in as well. So we'll do that the next time around. All right. Okay. So thanks so much. Thank you so much to our friends at Beacon Insurance, Escoma Variety Store, Sweet Drink Sorrel, and Western Union for powering up another ladies' room. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're hoping to have our battle tomorrow. Remember the day I said I would be sitting here silently and just hosting the program? Kathy and Eddie and Monty hopefully will be joining us. It's a sort of battle of the sexes in the room. So I'm letting the 2 of them have it at each other, and I'll just sit here and moderate, and we'll see how long I can do that for. But that's for tomorrow, trying to set that up for tomorrow. All right. So looking forward to having you guys back in the room. Thanks so much, everyone. And remember, you can check them out on social media, on their Facebook page, or you can call them 444-1035 to speak to any of their officers at the GIDC. So thanks so much for joining us for another show. See y'all tomorrow.
Ladies' Room comes to you compliments